See, I've been absolutely grinding lately, or so I thought.
But to be honest, I've just been getting on and doing nonsense. Sure, I've been playing a lot, but I made a whole routine and I haven't even followed it. I haven't been VODing my games, and I can tell because my gameplay feels worse. But with FNCS starting and no more Division Cups for 30 days, I have time to readjust. The biggest problem is I haven't been following the routine I set for myself, even though it isn't very complicated. I might hop on every now and then, play a little bit of 1v1s, and play ranked, but I haven't actually been taking the time to try. I'm just getting on and fooling around, and I'm not actually doing any critical thinking or following what I had set for myself. I'm really just playing on autopilot. Currently, I decided to rate myself as a Fortnite player, going off of peaks, mechanics, movement, awareness, decision making, and aim. Now obviously these aren't all things that go into a good player, but they're the start. I decided to be critical on these rankings, where 0 is a genuine casual noob and 99 is Peterbot, so they may seem a bit low, but this is because I wanted them to be accurate. And right now, my highest attribute is my aim, and my lowest is my mechanics. I actually came up with these ratings last week, but I hadn't decided to implement the skill card gimmick yet into the video. And when I wrote the script for that video, I said I would focus on my mechanics, and to be completely honest, I did a little bit, but not even to half of the extent that I actually wanted to.
Now, since this season isn't as long as Season 1, I don't have much time to accomplish my goal. And since I was in Division 1 to play FNCS, I really have no way to tell. And with solo cash cups being entirely done, all there is left to play are divisional cups. And those aren't happening for quite a while. Regardless, I decided to set some goals for myself to see if I could actually accomplish them. And hopefully, if I get enough motion, I could 1v1 a player who actually qualified to grand finals at the end of the season and see how I hold up. But it's up to you guys to make that happen. It isn't me making good YouTube videos. But anyway, the goals I have this season are to qualify to Division 2, get top 1000 Unreal, and win 1000 rounds of 1v1 Zone Wars. Now, I know the last one is kind of the odd one out of the bunch, but hear me out. I haven't been playing as many 1v1s as I wanted to, especially Zone Wars. As I asked around from a few pros I could actually get a hold of, the consensus was that Zone Wars are better for getting better at fighting faster. Now, that might be biased towards NA though, because you guys love them some realistics. Anyway, the goal of winning 1000 rounds actually serves two purposes. One, as it just proved that I'm good enough to actually get rounds on a bunch of good players, and two, is to make sure that I'm actually getting the volume of practice that I need, because I've definitely been slacking. Division 2 is really my only tournament goal because solos are gone, and unless a solo skin cup pops up, and I have a video in mind for that. But getting top 1k in real is the goal I had last season that I wasn't able to accomplish because ranked was terribly boring, and I also sucked. But I want to get at least one top 1k Unreal finish before the rank 2.0 rollout. Anyway, going back to my player rating, my mechanics are still the lowest rated, and so are my peaks and movement. Luckily, I can tie all of these three together, so I just have to practice. But like I said earlier, the problem is I haven't been following my routine at all. So week 3 of this little challenge, there won't be much of a routine change, but I have to change my mindset. I have to get comfortable with sitting down and actually grinding the things I need so that I can practice efficiently. Because that's what I need right now, and my habit of playing and doing nothing for 3 hours and getting off isn't working. Or well, at least it was a little bit. At the start, my mechanics did actually become somewhat decent. In gaming, I was doing some decent stuff. Granted, I still needed a little bit of cleaning around the edges, but I actually felt good mechanically. But as I stopped doing my routine and I started to mess around, I noticed I was still having some of the same issues. I was still flicking and I wasn't as smooth, and I was still messing up basic mechanics. Now, it doesn't seem to be a problem because the edits are fast, but when chaining multiple edits together, I tend to mess up and it screws up my crosshair placement.
The divisional cups this week didn't really go well as planned. I mean, I qualified to Division 4, which is great and all, but in Div 4 I actually didn't do all that good. Both cups were duds and I barely made endgame, and in the solo victory cups, I didn't even qualify, so I went 0 for 3 on solos this season, which means I had already failed the goal that I had set in the first video. But regardless, we move forward. Considering that there was absolutely nothing for 30 days because of FNCS, I decided to have 2 days out of the week where I would just play 2 to 3 hours of scrims instead, which was substitute for the division cups, and then I could VOD review those. Well, of course, there's the last chance major and maybe a skin cup that Epic will put up. I wanted to make up for the time lost and also just add scrims to my schedule because they're one thing that I was missing. The upcoming week for me will just be a bunch of creative, some ranked, and 2 days where I'll play scrims. But the most important of it all is the review. If I'm not actually going over what I'm dying to and trying to fix it, nothing will change, and I definitely learned that in this last week. Now, I know I said I would be repeating the routine, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting change. So I decided that I was going to implement a daily checklist. What's on this checklist is just going to be tasks a part of my routine. What makes it different is that at the end of every day, I'm going to be rating it based on what I was actually able to accomplish during the day. There will be 6 tasks in the checklist: 60 minutes of 1v1s, mechanics practice and ranked, 20 minutes of aim training, and ideally scrims. The goal is to check at least 5 out of 6 of these off every day. Scrims are the only exception because I have specific days set for scrims, but if I'm able to squeeze them in on a day where I have time, that'll boost the rating of the day quite a bit. Now, the goal of rating this checklist is to just get as many 10 out of 10 days as possible, and so that when I look back at the end of the week when I make the YouTube video, I can actually be proud of what I put in. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'm live every day on Twitch where you can catch me going through this grind live on stream. See you guys next video.